Way, Josh, we I sent Chris our old podcast from the law office talking about Star Wars, the movie, The Mandalorian, our Star Wars countdown. He loved it, right, Chris?
Yeah. I went into a little bit of your back catalog, man. I've been listening. Good stuff, man.
Absolutely appreciate it. There's definitely more to come, right, Miguel?
Oh yeah, definitely. We used to have so much fun doing that stuff.
We need to go over our top tens again. We're what now, like 15 of Star Wars content.
Oh yeah. I still bet that Rogue One is in everyone's top 1%.
Yeah, it's top 5 for me for sure.
Yeah, last Star Wars movie, which was the Rise of Skywalker, right? Josh and I saw that with Josh actually, so we're definitely huge Star Wars fans.
We'll get into that another time. I didn't like that one at all. I just
you heard our deep dive about it, so
yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy. But
Yeah,
anyway, speaking of Mandalorian, which we did talk about, we did episode reviews last year for that. What came from that was Boba Fett back from the Sarlacc pit. And we saw him last year rise up, get his armor back. We got more about his background, and then it led to the ending of Mandalorian, where he goes and he takes over. He kills Bib Fortuna, and now taking over Jabba's criminal underground. So last year, how excited were you for Boba Fett, Chris, when he came back on the screen on Mandalorian?
Bro, I was counting the days, the day that trailer dropped at the end of Mando season 2, man. It's like, who wouldn't really, in my shoes, being a Star Wars fan, I was counting the days.
How'd you like him in the show last year, though, Chris?
What's that?
How'd you like him inside of Mando and what he was doing in there?
Oh, fantastic. You know what I mean? It was great to see him. It was kind of like a mystery in the first episode, and then, or the first season. And then he popped up in 2, was helping Mando out. They teamed together. Couldn't ask for more, man. It was awesome.
And you being a long time fan, like him explaining his background, all that stuff, how'd that feeling for you?
I mean, we're getting into that now in this season. A lot of people always thought Boba Fett was badass, even though he got knocked into the Sarlacc pit by Han Solo. He only had like 3 lines in the entire trilogy.
Yeah.
But he was a cool looking character. You know what I mean? And I've always liked him. But I mean, I wasn't that hype on him until Mandalorian, really. But he was always like that. You will always remember who he was, what he looked like. And he had Han Solo and Carbonite, man.
What about Jango before Boba?
Oh, we're talking prequels now. I mean, okay, I thought that was pretty cool too. That he took a clone and didn't alter it as his son, and and I like how they touched on that in the beginning of Boba Fett season 1 here. Going back to watch where Mace Windu sliced his head off, and just seeing him like staring at that mask. It hit me in the feels, man.
Josh, the lore of Boba Fett from the prequels or Jango in the prequels or Boba in the originals. How were you on that character? What did you think about him before?
And similar to Chris, I had a lot of anticipation for this show as well. Not as much as I do for Obi-Wan, of course, but it's in that realm, because I love what they're doing with the galaxy, if you will, and we can see the remnants of people like Jon Favreau, Kevin Feige, who have their hands in everything Star Wars, and you can tell that they're building it up the same way they did on Disney Plus for the MCU. So by the time the Obi-Wan show comes up, I feel like that's going to be a major production, similar to how Winter Soldier and the Falcon became bigger and perhaps going onto the big screen. So I feel like there's going to be some parallels going on. But for Boba Fett, I love having the backstory now, the context of seeing the prequels, and then see how they integrated everything and essentially canonized it even more so with this series. So I'm very excited to see what they do with it, where they go. And again, Jon Favreau with another space Western, he seems to be nailing. The way that they're capturing every scene, making it so tense, the music, the panning of the camera is just excellent. So it is top notch.
And Rodriguez is the Western guy from, Desperado and Mariachi.
Wow.
He's got it, man.
Yeah. All right.
I love Desperado too. That was such a great movie. Yeah. I like the. First of all, I love the whole. I love Star Wars in general, man, because that universe just keeps expanding, and there's so many little things and Easter eggs. Like it's Star Wars is like it's just like mind blowing, right? It's just so big, and
Sorry.
even like the different locations they use, and I love how they like match. What you got back in the 70s and 80s to the 90s to 2000, 2010, like every decade, it gets bigger and bigger, I feel like. And it just keeps on going. So that's why I love it. And even with Boba, just on Tatooine itself, there's a bunch of Easter eggs throughout, which is like,
Yeah.
you
Yep.
know,
This everyone for the last 30 or so years has been wondering how he got out of the Sarlacc pit. And you felt a disturbance in the force as if a million comic book nerds had finally been silenced. We saw him get out of that. That was
yeah.
cool, man.
Almost, yeah.
Wait
A
for
lot
that.
of predicted that stuff and stuff like that. So it's interesting that how that went down. Now, speaking of that, the episode starts with that he's having a dream, and it shows him inside the Sarlacc pit,
Yep.
him using the stormtrooper to get oxygen, and then
Yeah, that was kind of dope.
it was though, right? And then he gets out and stuff, and then we see the was it Jabba's, right? They take his armor, and then that's crazy because you saw last year
Yeah.
that the dude, I forget his name, but he got the armor from the Jabba's, so kind of like parallels that. But just that first scene, Josh, how you feel about that? Like him dreaming and getting out and taking his armor and stuff.
I mean, I love the fact that we see him in the tank, the Bacta tank. I thought that was great because it's very in touch with Star Wars lore, and it makes sense that he would be in there. And then as we see his journey from that pit all the way to where he is now, it makes sense why he routinely needs to be in that tank, similar to Darth Vader. So we see some poetry there as well. So I thought that was great, and seeing the visions, because the concept of visions are very powerful, and let's say in comic book or fantasy in general. So I love how they're incorporating that in Star Wars, because that's a major element in Star Wars, having those visions and flashbacks and actually reliving things. So I appreciate it to see his journey, and it galvanizes you and sets the tone for where the series is going to go. So he started here, he progressed and morphed into this person, because and I have to shout out Claudiz in the comments. One of the great questions was, wait, he's a Mandalorian. Why is he so freely taking his helmet off? He's a more complex character. As we saw in Mando, he has gone beyond that, while Mando is still more in monk mode when it comes to being a Mandalorian. So you get to see the differences and how they approach the Mandalorian lifestyle, but also the life after being a Mandalorian.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting, because in the prequels we never really found out that Jango was indeed a Mandalorian. I mean, we just thought he was a bounty hunter that they wanted to clone for their troops, right? And it wasn't until Mando season 2 that he showed his chain code and was like, "My father was a Mandalorian." You were like, "Whoa, okay, that was great."
Right, but isn't it like something like different tribes and his Mandalorians, and some don't take their helmets off?
Yeah,
like the ones of Bo-Katan, they take their helmets off, and then the
Yeah.
other ones do, or something like that. It's like a weird situation like that. Oh yeah, and I forgot about that. How do you like? I never asked you this. How do you like them integrating stuff from the animated series into the live action series? Do you watch the animated series, Chris?
Oh yeah. I just got done. Like 6 months ago, I watched The Bad Batch, and I thought that was really well done too. Just linking this, like Josh was saying, just linking everything up together for a broader picture, and kind of makes me wonder, when is this crew that's developing Boba Fett going to make a feature film? Because we need that, right? These don't get me wrong, more Star Wars is always a good thing. Well, I want to see something huge on a big screen. That's just going to make everybody go nuts. When is that going to happen?
That's true. Yeah. I mean, the thing of it is, not to get off topic, but what story do you do for the feature films? You know what I mean? Because I think this crew here is kind of still within the whole Skywalker stuff.
This nah. I don't like High Republic, man.
You know the High Republic?
Yeah, that's what that is. Yeah. This is 200 or 500 years before A New Hope.
But isn't there like a bunch of Jedi around High Republic?
Yeah. Jedi were like as common as, I don't know. There's thousands of them, and they're.
So why you don't like that? So why don't you like it? So, just curious.
I don't like this. I don't like the storytelling in this. It doesn't feel like, I don't know, man. It's complicated.
I got you.
know.
Okay, I'm just curious.
Yeah, just see, like, I liked it when the Jedi were very scarce. You know what I mean? And they had a little bit more meaning, right?
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely, because then I agree with you completely, Chris, because it puts their duty and sacrifice on display more so than I would say if it's oversaturated with thousands of Jedi.
Yeah, I mean, people like that in the Old Republic, though. If you played that game, that one was pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Maybe it's just who tells the story, right? Who will we get to direct the movie? Really, is what's gonna.
I mean, there's a lot of people on that list, so it's going to be very exciting to see.
As long as Filoni and Favreau are on that list, I'm game. I'm ready.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So we do see him, finish this dream, and he gets taken by the Tusken Raiders, and we see it goes up to the dream where he tries to escape. And they bring him back. How'd you feel about that part? You mentioned that to me in the text about the Tusken Raiders, Chris. How'd you feel about that part?
So when they took him as prisoner, right after the Sarlacc pit.
Yeah.
That's where that links up again to Mando season 2 when we first saw him. He was in Tusken Raider guard, right? And he had that weapon. I forget what it's called at the moment. So yeah, I kind of see where they're going with this a little bit, like. Yeah, I mean, you always known as Tusken Raiders being animals, and I mean, now we're seeing them as more than that, right? And I like if he's going to form a bond with the Tusken Raiders so he can survive on Tatooine and everything else like that. That's badass, and we need more of that.
Okay, Josh,
absolutely
agree. Okay.
Oh yeah, I agree wholeheartedly because Tatooine has such a special place in Star Wars history. So the fact that we're getting character development with the different tribes, as you alluded to, Miguel, it's kind of like you're discovering the different sides and the whole soul of Tatooine. So you have people, like where Luke came from and his family, the Tusken Raiders, and then the Jawas. So how all those things blend together with
and then the criminal world, the Jawas.
Exactly, which is what we're about to discover, a front row seat. So I think it's shaping up to be a wonderful series and a wonderful future for Star Wars.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. All right. So, how many episodes is it? I think you said 7, right, Chris?
7, I believe.
Okay. So
wow. Okay, that's interesting. They picked that number. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a random number. Okay.
It's definitely not random. We'll figure it out at the end.
Later on. That's true. So then Fennec comes and wakes him up from the dream inside of the Bacta tank. And she's like, boss, you got to get up, we got to go. We get this whole scene, whole montage with him getting dressed in his armor again, which I thought was pretty dope, and her too at the same time. And then they come, and all these supposedly other criminals are supposed to be giving him tributes and like showing
kissing
him
the ring,
right, kissing the ring, basically. And we see that he says he needs a protocol droid. Also, we see that the mayor sent one of his lackeys and did not have a tribute. And then Fennec wants to rule with the Iron Fist, but Boba wants to rule with respect. So how'd you feel about that whole part, Josh?
I thought that was very true to the character, which I appreciated because, let's be honest, I feel as a Mandalorian, you can see the morality and how they view the world. So regardless if you're from the tribe who takes your helmet off or not, we still believe in doing the right thing. And did he get his butt kicked in the middle of town? Yes, but he also kicked some butt as well. And we see this because each time you get to see why he's a Mandalorian, being able to handle himself in any given situation without his armor. I mean, it would have been impressive for him to kill that creature with 6 legs and arms with armor. So the fact that he did it without it, I was like, yeah, that's badass. He's definitely a Mandalorian. He's more than that. He's Boba Fett.
So you agree with him and the whole ruling with respect, Josh?
Absolutely, because to me that speaks of Mandalore is respect.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Chris, how you feel about the? about the whole tribute scene and all that stuff.
So I'm just going to ask this question because I wasn't exactly sure. That Transdoshan that came in, the lizard-looking guy who was his former boss, was he carrying Wookiee skin?
He was, yeah.
I like that. It was cool. So I don't know if you watched The Bad Batch, but they had an episode with Fennec Shand in there too, and she was hunting Omega. But she's cool, man. I think she's like the what do you call it? Like the yin and the yang, where he's trying to be respectful, but she's like, "Hey, you don't want me to kill him, boss?" You know what I mean? I love her character. I think she's doing a great job, and I can't wait to see more of her. And then we're gonna get it. So
since you mentioned that, I didn't watch it. So who exactly is the Bad Batch? Why did the Bad Batch? Why we're
the Bad Batch were a series of clones that were made that had defects, but their defects were really like one of them's like super strong and huge and tall. The other one is has can never miss with a gun. He was a sniper. Then there's another one who's like into computers and stuff like that. Anyway, Omega apparently is a female clone of Jango Fett, right? Okay. That might even tie into this series somehow later on because she's essentially Boba Fett's sister, right?
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, okay.
So yeah, that might. I mean, that's me. I'm just spitballing here. I don't know if that's. But why would they make that episode about that if they're not going to bring her in later?
Yeah.
Which kind of. But she has blonde hair, but still, like, who was that woman in the trailer on that speeder bike that shows up? Like, you know. Yeah. So I think that's going to get really interesting. But yeah, the Bad Batch were a series of defective clones. And they, the Empire would send them in when, or the Republic would send them in when the shit hit the fan. You know, these were like the special ops versions of clones.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
The 18.
Yeah. Thank you. I actually haven't watched any of the animated, so I might have to take time to do that. But I can kind of filled in here and there.
I watched the original one, which was great because obviously Dave Filoni, and eventually I do want to take a deep dive, but I feel like these type of series are going to make me want to take a deep dive, and now they're all on Disney Plus, so they're easily attainable to watch before.
You have no excuse.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, and Rebels too, especially before.
I love Rebels.
Ahsoka, her series comes out,
and she came to life, so I think Chris is definitely onto something.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so they're walking through town the first time, and they. I missed the part that they try to. He doesn't kill the. What do they call it, Chris? The pig creatures that he didn't kill.
Those whatever those were. Those I don't know what they were. They were some kind of band of maybe.
No, not them. The ones that
I have my theory about who they belong to.
No, not them. I'm talking about the ones that he didn't kill. The ones that he kept on his team. The pig looking creatures.
Oh, the Gamorreans. The green.
Gamorreans. Yeah, Gamorreans.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool too.
So he didn't kill the Gamorreans because they go back to like original Star Wars, right?
Oh yeah. Return of the Jedi, yeah.
Yeah, Return of the Jedi. So they didn't kill the Gamorreans, and then they all go to the same cantina with the same band.
Max Rebo, but he's a 2-piece now.
Yeah, right.
That was so cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, and a lot of gambling going on there, and you see more of the. What do they call the Bit 14 type creatures?
Twi'lek.
Yeah, you see a bunch of them there, stuff like that.
Twi'lek. You saw that one, the green one?
Yeah, he was. He like the
helmet. I'm like, yeah, that motherfucker was beefy, boy.
Yeah. And then, again, he's trying to meet with the mayor, right? When he went there, I forgot. Why did he go there?
That was just a woman who ran a club, sort of. They didn't say who she worked for or whatever, but she was under Jabba's rule at one point, or whatever. She was like,
why did he go? Why did he go there again, though? Just to go there? I forget.
Just to let her know that he's now the boss. And,
gotcha. Okay,
so I want to offer my protection to you. Okay. Blah blah blah. Like mob.
Exactly, mob stuff. And remember, cleaning of the helmet probably a code for it. Let me put these coins in your helmet, sir.
Yeah.
Right.
So cool.
Also, we see they're using the money from the new Republic right now because the Empire is not in charge at the moment in this series.
Exactly.
They come back later on, I guess. So it's weird. The money keeps changing depending on who's in charge. This is pretty funny. But anyway, he's coming back, and as Chloe clearly said, he got his butt kicked, or him and Fennec, whoever they are, and they had these shields, and they had the damn electric staffs, stuff like that. So how'd you like that whole scene, Josh? How that stuff was going on?
It made sense because it actually, it made Fennec's warnings all the more palatable and serious because I feel like to a degree Boba knew that having this not a softer rule but a more reasonable rule with criminals is hard because what criminals, I would say, especially in Star Wars, really respect is the Iron Hand, which is what Jabba represented. So the fact that he didn't, it is a sign of weakness. So they was always going to test him eventually. I just didn't anticipate it to be that quickly. So I was like, okay, here we go. So I feel like that was a great start to bring you into that mob world. Like, hey, the rules here are different. You guys have been seeing all this Jedi where you have moral code and whatnot. Sure, you saw the Sith, but the criminal world is his own animal, and we get to discover that. And I can't wait for that, especially on Tatooine. You kidding me?
I think too as well that how Boba is running things looks like weakness to a lot of these groups too. So because Jabba, you didn't give him what he wanted, he killed you.
Right.
So
very fast too.
Very fast.
And for fun, like Dr. Evil, like, oh, how I'm gonna kill you today.
If I don't see anybody get fed to a menagerie in this one, I'm gonna be a little upset. Right? Just a little bit.
Yeah. And also Jabba's palace was like a whole club itself when he had it.
Exactly.
Boba's is like it's really just quiet and very mundane and stuff.
That's
like
why
a sanctuary.
That's why that scene at the end of Mando 2 when they did the preview for Book of Boba Fett, how powerful that was to see him sitting on Jabba's throne. That was like, oh man, here we go.
Yeah. I agree. So we do see Fennec. Well, first Jabba does not Jabba. Boba kills one. With the
that was kind of raw.
With the that was pretty cool. That was like Iron Man type move actually when he like that. And then we see Fennec chase him. A lot of parkour happening. Nice action scene. She catches up to him, kills one, lets the other one live. For question, how'd you guys like that scene right there? Chris, how about you guys?
It was just showing how badass Fennec was. I mean, there isn't really much to say about it. That must have, it was a great scene to watch. There's a lot of, that parkour stuff was cool. It just showed how flexible she was and, how strong she is.
I like what also happened there was you do see the Gamorreans actually come to save him. So it kind of made it seem like his idea is working.
So for sure. Yeah, they proved their loyalty. Yep.
Yeah, definitely. Josh, how you feel about all that?
Absolutely. So it definitely proved their loyalty, and it was a great decision, especially since they are sentient beings, so we have no idea if they agreed with the philosophy of their former masters. So this might be a person that they serve that they actually like and respect, which could be more powerful, which is the ethos of Boba Fett. But also, again, the parkour scene was fantastic. And by the way, by the way that they were dressed, I felt like it reminded me of the Rebels. So I'm curious to see who actually sent these people. I we'll find out eventually, but how they were dressed, it reminded me of the Rebels, who would be around with Luke.
I have theories on who they were.
Okay. It was amazing. So we see the Gamorreans drag him back to the Bacta tank. He's going to another dream sequence. The rest of his time, not the rest of it, but more time with the Tusken Raiders. They get dragged out by, I guess, like a teenager of the Tusken Raiders to go dig for water. And meanwhile, while they're there, like Josh said before, they get attacked by this Goro-looking like creature.
That's the best way to describe him too.
Yeah, looking new. And like Josh said, nice action scene. The creature kills the other, I forget what the thing's called and whatnot. And then
Rodian,
yeah. And we see Boba hop on top with the chain, kind of like lay on Jabba, and choke out this creature. And then the teenager brings him back, and he's earned the respect of the chief because he then gets some water. So I guess this might be the start of his journey to kind of be rolling with them or getting trained by them. So how do you guys feel about that whole ending sequence there, Josh? What do you think about it?
Absolutely. I mean, who else would be able to gain the respect of such a treacherous tribe like the Tuskens, right? Unless you do something like that. I feel like that's something Mando would do. and gain the respect of Tusken. So I can definitely see how they respect warriors, even though he got chipped by the other dude who kind of looked like Kylo Ren there. In their tribe. But it was great to see, and I think it's gonna come in handy later down in the story.
I believe the one was also female, right? One of them Tusken Raiders I thought was female, and we've never seen anything like that pretty much before.
Right.
The one who kicked Boba's ass right when he ran away the first time.
Exactly.
I think that was female, man. I could be wrong, but
that's the feeling I got, like the right hand of the chief or whoever that was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How you felt about that whole scene though? That last sequence there, Chris, with the girl.
Well, big shout outs to them doing real creature work and not all CGI.
Yeah.
I mean, the dog when it was sleeping, that was an animatronic puppet. Max Rebo and everything else, they were all not CG. Which anytime you can do that over CGI, please. I love that. That is Star Wars, right? Yeah, that was cool, man. I can't wait to see where he's going to go with the Tusken Raiders, man. I have a feeling it's going to come back to serve him well.
So, do y'all think it's going to be more flashbacks and forward time like throughout the whole series, or just
I think so.
Really? Okay.
And the reason I think so is because it's only 7 episodes, and like I spoke to you about before, I don't want this series to get Hawkeyed to where everything comes right at the end, and then you're like, oh no, like maybe some characters won't be used properly enough, right? Take your time, tell a good story, use the flashbacks. I mean, I thought it was perfect. The first episode, flashbacks, paid everything off. So I hope they do. I hope they keep doing that. I think they will too.
How about you, Josh? I got my thoughts on that. How about you, Josh? How you feel about the flashbacks?
I do think the flashbacks are going to be relevant throughout the series, and I think it'll be easier to follow along instead of like season 1 of The Witcher, something like that. But I do think.
Oh man, don't get me started on that.
Yeah, I got Witcher.
But again, as Chris is saying, we have a lot of context that needs to be filled in, and the flashbacks are the perfect way to do that. And the way that we see that in the first episode, it has to be a theme throughout the entire series, especially for a character like Boba Fett, who exists in the past and in the future of Star Wars, not only in the timeline but just how it is chronologically in real life. It definitely deserves that.
I want him to do them just to catch us up to where he where we're in Mando with him. But I'm hoping after like maybe episode 3, maybe they have to do any more flashbacks. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like them, but I want to see the story progress to move forward. The thing I hate about, not hate, the thing that Star Wars has a problem with always is moving forward. And though I love Star Wars, even this right here, right, it's taking place after Return of the Jedi, way years before we meet Rey, and stuff like that. So like they really have and I'm kind of with you, Chris, on the High Republic. Like that's what I'm saying, is they're always going backwards or in between. I want to see Star Wars move forward,
right?
So
yeah,
that's my whole thing with that. So I want to see his story move forward too, just like Mando. Like with that, like I was happy that Luke finally came and got Grogu, because I'm like, we can't have the same thing every season. We got to have something new happen. You know what I'm saying? So I do like to see forward happen, but I think it's a good series to see how he'll rule and who he has to go up against. We have any predictions for the series, Chris? Since you're a big Star Wars
for this series? Well, I mean, there's rumors and then there's predictions, right? I don't know, which one do you want first?
Let's go with the rumors first.
So, rumors is what's her name who played Kira in Solo, right? She is now the leader of the Crimson Dawn, right? And they're another, what do you call it? A crime lord faction, right? That was run by Darth Maul at one point until Obi-Wan poetically killed him, which was on Rebels, by the way.
Oh, yeah, Emilia Clarke, yep.
Emilia Clarke, yeah. I heard she's coming back, that she worked on something for Disney Plus. I mean, obviously it's this, right? I don't think she would be in Obi-Wan, right?
I think so, but hold on. I think her timeline, doesn't it really go more with Obi-Wan than this? I thought so.
Well, just for context, she actually is involved in the Secret Wars for the MCU. She's going to be allegedly going to be.
Oh, maybe then.
Queen. What are those creatures called? Oh,
what the Kree, not the Kree, the Skrulls.
Skrulls, thank
Skrulls,
you.
Yeah.
She's supposed to be the Queen or the Empress Skrull. allegedly. But you know how we see how Disney and Marvel and Star Wars share the talent. So I think we're both correct, to be honest. I think she's going to be in multiple projects, to be honest.
I think more Obi-Wan than Boba Fett, me personally, because of the timeline.
The big thing that Kira and Boba Fett have in common, even in the comics, was when Han Solo got frozen in carbonite, they had battled each other over that. That's her ex-boyfriend, and that's Boba's target, obviously, right? So I heard a rumor that they're going to have a de-aged Han Solo at the very end of this series, like they did with Mandalorian and Luke Skywalker. Okay, so I know how you said it should be the guy who was in Solo.
Right, makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what they do. That's what I heard.
You don't like that guy though, you said, right?
No, I did. No. Don't get me wrong. I love Solo. I thought it was great. You know what I mean? You kind of forget after a while that that's not Harrison Ford. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's hard to, man. But how that technology is now, the way Luke looked at the end of Mandalorian season 2,
it was great.
I did a double take because I was like, whoa, it was almost uncanny, right? I mean, there was some obvious, okay, this is fake, but the voice, they nailed it. Yeah, and then now, of course, they've had 2 more years to work on that tech. So let's see what they do with Han Solo if he indeed comes back.
I can also still see Sebastian Stan being young Luke as well. That kind of is probably going to happen.
There's a missed opportunity with that, dude. I know. That's so good.
So those are your rumors. What are your predictions then, Chris?
I don't know.
Oh, look at
I really don't. I don't have any solid predictions of how this is going to end. We need to see more, right? Unless you guys got something.
Before we see what Josh got, let's bring in this guy late to the party, but we just want to get his thoughts on the episode. Mr. E Money.
Yo,
what's good?
What's good, E?
What's going on?
What I tell you, man, tell TJ you got stuff to do, bro. Like, come on, man.
Keep telling that girl, man, about the charger.
Got to, man. Hey, man, listen, we already kind of went in a deep dive on the episode because, as you know, these episodes are short. But since you're here, give us your, I guess, overall thoughts and your highlights from the episode, man, if you can.
Actually, I'm actually I enjoyed the episode. What I really like is the fact that he's strong. He seems a lot stronger than the Mandalorian. You know, you guys notice that? Like when he fights, he seems like way more aggressive and stronger than how the Mandalorian fights. Is there something I missed about Boba Fett, like his strength?
Maybe it was enhanced because he is a clone, so maybe.
But
he does seem like physically stronger
pretty easily, though, man. You know, if it wasn't for those Gamorrean guards, he probably would have died there. Or
that. But you see how he handles them? Like, like he's grabbing people, slamming them with one hand. If he hits you, you're done.
You know what, E? I think that's going to be a major part of the storyline because we can tell it's a lot of channeled rage with him.
Yeah,
so he only chooses to bring it out at certain times, just like he stopped himself from. He showed mercy.
Right?
Part of his ethos. But I think once he sees red, it's going to be difficult.
I think you're right. I hope we find out more about what made him that way. You know, I mean, we just knew him as the masked bounty hunter from the original trilogy.
Yeah,
who got yoked by accident by Han Solo into the Sarlacc pit.
Right.
But seeing him remember Camino and then seeing him looking at his dad's helmet, which that was a really funny scene.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
that was dope.
When I paused it and you look, that was an extra scene that they filmed just for this, with him looking at the helmet closer. And if you see the reflection in the visor, that's not what's his name, the kid who played young Boba Fett.
That's not him. Okay.
Jordan I can't think of his name right now, but yeah, it's not him at all. And you have to pause it and look to notice that, but it was still a cool shot that they did that, though.
Yeah,
picking up the helmet like that.
Yeah, and I'm getting Mandalorian vibes from it anyway, so I feel like each episode is going to be real good.
Absolutely. You saw it was created by Jon Favreau.
Yeah.
Space Western.
I keep telling my son that. He's like, oh, who's that? I'm like, Happy. He's like, Happy. I'm like, yeah, Happy.
Yeah, the director of Iron Man, the first Iron Man.
First 2 Iron Man, actually.
Yep. Daniel Logan was his name. The kid, Daniel Logan, played young Boba Fett.
Okay.
Yeah. And I remember people thought that the head was still in there, but it didn't. You can see it fall out in the shadows. When Mace Windu cut his head off. With
Very
that.
easily, by the way.
Easily,
Yeah.
right? I was gonna say easy.
I'm
You're
still
done.
upset that he died the way he did.
Is he dead though? You think he's dead?
Yeah, the way Star Wars is.
I don't because
Yeah,
he
I
had a
don't think
conversation
so.
with George. George said you were alive. Now it's up to Kevin Feige and John Favreau if they want to introduce him later. I mean, we already saw what happened with Darth Maul in the animated series.
Imagine they bring him into Obi-Wan series. Could you imagine? Oh,
Man, listen,
my Lord.
If I
That
get that
Obi-Wan
purple
series look
lightsaber
crazy.
again, what?
When is,
for real.
Obi-Wan finished shooting in September? September, right? Like,
Yeah,
they're
it's
done.
Yeah, they're done with
Yeah.
Obi-Wan.
Oh, they're done too? Yeah.
done
See, I
too,
can't wait to
yeah.
see that. And how they do Vader.
Hayden Christensen's back. Okay.
Right.
Woo!
Yeah.
You know, he
I
probably
think
My
Josh
inner
was on the
geek is
money.
exploding right now.
That's gonna be the biggest series and the biggest buzz
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah.
And who plays Obi-Wan? I forget. What's his name?
Ewan McGregor.
Aaron McGregor. Yep.
Yeah, he don't age that much. Like he still looks.
Yeah,
like
he looks the same. He looks the same.
The way
And the
he
beard
aged
helps.
matches up perfect for this too. So
Absolutely.
an older Obi-Wan. All right.
Yeah, it does go good.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I would say.
To see them fight again.
It depends how many. I think that's supposed to take place 10 years after Jedi, so I think that kind of works a little bit. I don't know how much.
Are we still getting more future movies from them? Like with the story
we were
with Rey?
discussing that a little bit too. We were talking about all these Disney Plus Star Wars series. When is Disney and Favreau and Filoni going to make a feature film?
Well, I know the one just got canceled, right? The Rogue, not Rogue.
Rogue Squadron.
Yeah, that got canceled.
It's in limbo now. Yeah. But Taika Waititi apparently has a Star Wars project as well. We don't know what that is yet.
Exactly.
And Rian Johnson was supposed to be getting his own trilogy, but that kind of was like, just kind of faded away.
What about Cassian Andor? That's getting done too. How you feel about that one?
I feel the same way I felt about Hawkeye at first for Cassian Andor, but I know I'm going to be blown away, hopefully. So.
Right.
Hawkeye took me by surprise, bro.
Yeah.
Really did.
I mean, everybody was surprised by Rogue One. Honestly,
I was just about to say that Rogue One surprised me. I like when they go dark like that. That even makes it even more, like, dang, can you imagine?
That they connected it right to A New Hope. Oh man, it was perfect. Like
right down to the second. That was beautiful.
That was perfect.
That was poetry, absolutely.
And I told Josh this 2 years ago. I said that's the best Darth Vader scene out of everything.
Yes,
when he's going through.
He was ripping through them. He put my man on the ceiling.
And then Luke in Mando season 2 got the mirror effect of that. When he was in the hallway with
Luke,
robots.
The Luke joint.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so good.
But that Vader joint, that's the best out of all of it.
Seeing them guys run from Vader like that,
he just ripped their blasters out of their hands. Like, nope.
Yeah, look, put you on the ceiling. Hold that.
It would be cool to see I guess there was a fight had to be between Vader and Obi-Wan and between the ones. And
I always wanted to see Vader around other Sith people too. Like I wanted to see Vader around Maul. I wanted to see how they would interact. Just stuff I want to see. I got to see it. I need it.
Does Vader and Maul interact in the animated series?
Yeah.
Oh, they do? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
They got little. They say little slick stuff to each other. That's what I'm saying.
Now I gotta watch these animated series.
In Rebels, I think.
Yep, Rebels.
Yeah, Maul in Rebels. Yeah.
When he had them robot legs, he was talking filthy.
Yep.
After Phantom Menace,
Yep.
And right at the end of Solo, you see Darth Maul stand up, and he's got the robot legs in there too.
Yep.
Yeah. Talking to Kira.
Yeah, that was cool.
Are they gonna have him get at Ahsoka? Because
I don't know how they would do that because also in Rebels, Han or Obi-Wan kills Darth Maul.
Yeah,
right there at the end. So I don't know where that would fit in.
Ahsoka going after
the blue face guy.
What's his name?
General something.
Why am I so? Oh God, how do I not know this?
Tarkin? No.
Tarkin.
No.
He got red eyes.
Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Yeah,
Thrawn,
that's it.
Sorry,
that's it.
I felt ashamed that I didn't know that. They already they already cast him too. I think.
What's up, Climax? How you doing? Yeah, Thrawn. She's going after her series. I feel like, and because they're looking for what's the kid name? The boy.
He should be nice too
Ezra.
by now. Ezra should be real good right by now.
Yeah, Ezra. Yeah, he should be nasty right now.
Yeah, Ezra
but where was he at though? Throughout the whole,
he was with Thrawn chasing that.
Yeah, he left
went through some kind of portal or something, right?
Well, they
because Rebels takes place before A New Hope, right? Like and all that stuff.
Yeah, they blasted off in light speed to somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere.
Him and Thrawn, and then they Ahsoka couldn't find him anymore, couldn't feel him in the Force anymore either. So, he'll be back though. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how he.
I think her series is going to be big on flashbacks too.
Yes.
Lars Mikkelsen is playing Grand Admiral Thrawn, and he's been in cast for Mandalorian season 3.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, it's about to go down. They definitely about to put this together. Yeah.
I think her series gonna have a lot of flashbacks of like her time between now and when she was a kid.
Yeah.
Ahsoka and stuff like that, and all the things like that.
Man, Rosario Dawson nailed it, man.
Yo, did she? Yo, I swear, woo!
She did with the white
lightsabers.
If
Ahsoka was real, I'd be on it.
Yeah. Rosario always nails it though. Look at all the Netflix series when she played the night nurse. Like,
yeah.
Alexander.
Oh.
Remember Alexander the Great? That movie?
Yeah.
She was incredible in that as well.
Yeah. She always knows. I gotta go back and watch that too.
I'm telling you, she got it.
But she did like get with Daredevil and Luke Cage. To be honest with you, stuff like that. We're gonna let that go.
And the actual person actually hooked up with someone I know in real life, which is interesting.
Oh, for real?
Seriously?
Yeah. Well, let's say allegedly, right?
Allegedly.
Josh always uses allegedly, so we're gonna leave.
Allegedly, yeah.
So, I mean, like I said, you haven't been with us, in the beginning of the show, but we talked about him escaping from the Sarlacc pit and all that stuff, which was a big thrill.
Finally got to see that.
Yeah, that was good.
How he's trying to rule with respect instead of fear. How do you feel about that part?
I think he's messing up a little bit with that part, but trust me, boy, respect gets you killed. If it ain't fair, you might as well just don't even do it because
it's a sign of weakness.
Yeah. And people will keep trying and poking at it every time.
So you think
I feel he's going to make it work, though,
or do you think he's going to change?
I think he's going to change. I think he's going to get more. I think he's going to get like tired and bothered. Like, man, you know what, man? I already been nice already. So now it's time to just start just straight. You know what? You ain't bring no tribute.
For so many years, Boba Fett's been a villain, right? So
right. Meet Rancor.
Kind of weird to see him in this way.
Yeah.
Well, you asked about predictions, Miguel. I feel like there's going to be a massive loss. Hopefully not Finnick, but probably Finnick, and that's
make him even darker. Yeah.
If he lost Finnick, that would kind of turn him down a dark path, actually.
Because they showed that Rancor, that Rancor trapdoor thing.
Yeah,
they showed us that for a reason. I'm pretty sure.
Does he not? In the trailer, I really watched a lot of the trailer. I don't want to. Does he leave Tatooine at all in this trailer, or does he stay there the whole time?
No, I don't see it.
In the trailers, mostly episode 1 and some parts of.
You're right. So, do y'all think he's going to leave it all throughout the series?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Maybe he'll probably have to
when he gets his ship back.
I don't think he's going.
We're not allowed to call it the Slave One anymore, but when he gets that ship back, whatever it's called now.
Really, they changed the name of it? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Disney,
you had to make it more PC. So
yeah,
that's today's culture, right?
I was about to say, Disney not having that.
All right. Well, what do y'all? I guess I know it's early in the series, but just to wrap it up, how would y'all rate the first episode, Chris? What would you give it?
Oh, you're gonna be first, huh?
Always. No, I don't know.
It was. Oh man. 8. 8 safe for me. I mean, saw a lot of what I wanted to see. Saw a lot of stuff that I didn't know I was going to see that I liked. So, yeah, I'll give it an 8. It was strong, but it didn't have that Mando punch, right? But
you know why? I'm going to tell you why, though. Mando's very first episode, at the end, you saw the Baby Yoda, quote unquote. So I think Grogu now, that like
sucked you in more.
Yeah, sucked you in more. You want to know more about it.
Yeah, you know what? You're right.
This didn't have that.
I'm gonna give it a solid 8.
Okay.
I think.
Josh?
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's the same rating I gave No Way Home, a solid 8.
I didn't know that,
Really? All
but
right.
I'm happy that you said that. Wow.
Boy,
Okay,
oh
we
boy.
gotta talk about that more on Sunday, Josh.
Yep.
All right, and E.
Yeah, I would say 8. I would definitely give it an 8.
Everybody's on a solid 8. With
Yeah.
this. Okay.
But even though again it's an 8, that like it's a solid 8.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like when in the NBA, if a player scores 30, it wasn't like a quiet 30, it was a loud 30, but it wasn't like 50 or 60 or 80.
Right.
That's all. That's all.
Yeah.
Where like Mando 1 was a solid
Where
high 9 for me.
I
Absolutely.
get what Josh said, where he catch your eye, you're like, oh, who's that? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, Mando 1 had to fight with the IG, what they call I-88s or whatever too. The like it was crazy stuff. Mando.
Like I said, I don't want this series to get Hawkeye. I don't want them to rush. Right. I don't like bring everything in on the last episode. Like, wait another year, motherfuckers. You know what I mean? I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will they do? You think they're gonna do a Boba 2? Book of Boba Fett Part 2?
I think they will.
Or will it end at this?
Depends how it depends.
Depends how it does.
Yeah.
You know what? Another prediction, Miguel. It has to intertwine with Mando. So part 2 has to have the Mandalorians and his role in that war and what happened with that. And you got to get your favorite actor ever, Miguel. He got to have a part in it too.
Who's that?
Giancarlo Esposito, right?
Oh yeah.
Your favorite character ever? Who?
I thought his favorite actor was.
It's not my favorite actor ever. That's why I said that. I'm like, what are you talking about? But Bob Gideon. Who?
Chi Whittle.
Who the hell Chi Whittle?
Oh, 12 Years a Slave. Yep.
Yeah, more
or Doctor Strange. Yep.
Oh, yeah, he's good too. Actually,
like a lot of people are calling this Mando 2.5 too. So
I would actually say it's his own story because it is Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like because again, I'm thinking about it from Kevin Feige's perspective, right? Like really seeing the long-term game plan and story. So I feel like Mando set us up for this, and Boba Fett is going to set us up for Obi-Wan. That's just how I'm looking at it. And everything else you guys talked about, Ahsoka, all those other things. I think it's just a drop in the bucket for what's to come.
And also, I'm comparing the two series. Well, first of all, my prediction is Mando will show up in this series before it's over with. I will say that as well. But I think it's kind of like how Marvel has like things that are very huge and a world threatening and big stakes, and then it got like ground level stuff like Hawkeye that we watched or Daredevil or whoever. Being that Boba probably won't even leave Tatooine at all, but if you watch Mando, he's on like 15 different planets, right? He's all over the place. So I feel like that Boba's more ground level, where like dealing with the criminal aspect, with the whole stuff like that, where Mando's more galactic. I feel like that's my thing. But no man can't be just as good, obviously. But for this episode, I'm gonna go episode with a solid 8 as well. So
cool.
I do think Mando will show up though in this series. Either Mando or Bo-Katan, like one of them will show up. Like one of the other, Mandalorians will be in this series.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, that girl. I forgot about Shorty.
Bo-Katan with the red.
Yeah. Who lost the sword? Who's a hater now? Yep.
Yeah. She was looking mad goofy with that.
So for predictions for who we might see, we got Kira, we got Bo-Katan, we got Grogu, and we got Mandalorian, right? And Han Solo.
Yes.
I don't think Grogu at all. If you get Grogu, get Luke, because Luke's with Grogu. So
right.
I don't know.
Nah, yeah.
Why haven't they made for real? Why didn't they take Sebastian Stan and make him?
We just said that before he came on.
We mentioned that earlier.
We just said that.
Yeah, because he looks like Luke to me, man.
He does.
I'm like, yo, if they just put him in with a black suit and a saber, we got Luke.
I hope we do get Luke and Grogu on something again, to see. And I hope maybe Ahsoka, and maybe they can get with Leia at the time or something like that. And
oh man,
right? Because she should be training right now at this period. Actually,
I just want to see the original trilogy thing back together again. All 3 or 4 of them just hanging out, man. What we never got in the sequel trilogy.
Oh my God, don't get me started. Well, before get me started before, but let me end this show first. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Climax. Thanks, Chloe. Thank you, BRBR. And, of course, it's Comic Cinema Crew presenting the Book of Boba Fett review. We'll be back with this every week if these guys are down for it. It's a short review, just something to do to pass the time. And, of course, talk about our favorite, which is Star Wars. For that, we'll be back tomorrow, the Comic Cinema Crew, with the Hawkeye episode 4 through 6 spoiler discussion. For these guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Yeah.
All right, peace.
Later.
And may the force be with you.